I am basically going to share with you a little bit about my journey to Eagle Manager, and specifically what I love about this topic that I've been asked to speak to you about is the support which we provided to our team and how we've developed our supervisors in our team, because obviously with the Eagle Manager qualification, you need to develop 2 Eagle supervisors in the qualification period of time. Eagle supervisors, 2 supervisors, sorry. So what I'm going to do is talk you through that tonight and just share with you some top tips that we have found have worked for us in terms of developing our team. So to give you a little bit of a background about myself, so I started Forever 3 years ago. I was an assistant head teacher and my partner Tom was a project manager. Now, our long-term goal was that we would both be able to leave our careers and be stay-at-home parents to our daughter Arabella, who Bob mentioned earlier. And due to our consistency and our commitment, which you heard Bettina speaking about and many of the other people tonight, that has enabled that to happen much quicker than we expected, which has just been fantastic. But it really didn't start that way. So, I'm sure all of you will be at different stages within your journey on Forever, and you may very well resonate with where I started or where I finished 2019. So December 2019, I finished on 5 case credits. That was with a team as well. So when people say, they struggle to do 4CC, I really resonate with that because that was me. I was struggling to do that too. And I think that kind of empathy with your team is really important. We've all been there. We've all started out. And yes, it is, I think that's amazing that we all do start with that same box and it's what you do with it. But equally, it's quite daunting. I don't know about anybody else, but I actually, when I received my box, I put it in our spare bedroom. I left it there for 3 weeks. I was so frightened to open it. But I did open it, and as the rest of the day is history. Now, my first 18 months, as you can see, they were a bit kind of roller coaster. They were inconsistent was the word. And that's why I finished on 5CC in 2019. However, it was in 2020 that I was like, right, things need to change here. And that's where I really became consistent. That's where also Tom joined me in the business midway through the year. And I was able to replace my salary as well. So by the end of 2020, I'd become a manager in the April. I was part of 75 Club. I'd achieved Forever to Drive in the November. I'd achieved Eagle Manager, I think, also in the November. And I was a chairman's bonus qualified for the first time, which was just amazing. So it's been a real whirlwind, but what really excites me is it's shown me what can happen when you do treat this like a business and you are consistent with it. So let me just give you kind of profile of my team. We don't have a massive team at all, but what we do have is some amazing people within it. So we do have an Eagle Manager ourselves, Beth Jones, so she's in our team. We also have an assistant manager, Lindsay Bellamy. And in addition to that, we've got 7 supervisors as well from the qualification period time. So if you think within that, you've got several people that we could have used as our Eagle supervisors. We love each and every one of them, and particularly Lindsay and Beth. I know Bettina mentioned about one of her managers being her best friends. That's the same for us as well. Beth is one of my best friends, so is Lindsay. Lindsay and I actually knew each other from school. We're best friends, lost contact over the years and reconnected. So I think there's a real key thing there as well about expanding your network and going back to people maybe who you haven't spoken to for years, and reconnecting with those people. So I'm going to share with you some top tips now that I feel have really helped me to get to Eagle Manager. So I hope these will help you guys too. So my first top tip, chase the incentives. Some of the ladies have said tonight, it doesn't matter if we're not going on holiday. It does not matter. I know that if I chase those incentives, whether it's the 4CC suitcase or whatever else, my business is going to grow. And that is what drives me. So in that, when I finished December 2019 on 5 case credits, I went on to Forever Knowledge. I printed off every single incentive that was going, every single one. Bear in mind, considering chairman's bonus when you're at 5CC with a struggle was a little bit optimistic. But I did it because I wanted it. That was what I was here for. I wasn't here to mess about. I was here to replace salaries and to retire myself and my partner. So that was what I was going to do. So you need to chase those incentives. And you can see here, I have actually a chart on my fridge and I cross it off. So when I was going for manager, I had a chart on my fridge and I've still got that chart now because I was so proud to achieve it. And I remember looking at it thinking, at what point in the month, and myself and my upline and sort of cross line, we had bets on as to what date I'd do it. And these charts are really significant, and basically it breaks down, I've got it on there for Global Rally, Chairman's Bonus, and also for Eagles. And I highlight these off as we go. So every month when we get our bonus recap, we fill it in a little bit more. And it's really exciting. It sounds so simple, but these are the things that kind of keep you going and make you realise, am I on track? And we also put on there where, you know, at the start of the year or at the start of the qualification when we want to qualify, and which part of the qualification when we want to qualify. So we really, really break it down, and we know literally day by day, week by week, what we need to do. And I think that's so important that actually we're doing this now as Eagle managers, but equally it's what we coach our team to do, because it's what we did when we were going for supervisor. I knew how many gel drinks I needed to get a week. I knew what I was doing. It's volume mapping, isn't it, which we know, but it's a really good way to kind of plan out what you're going for. My second top tip, you can see my partner Tom here on the screen and my assistant manager Lindsay. Lead from the front. So, you know, if you want a rocking retail business, if you want your team to have amazing retail businesses, yours needs to be amazing. And that is something which Tom and I have taken really seriously. As I mentioned before to Bob, we had a big community event here today where we opened our home and we showed people the products. We developed those relationships, and it was really amazing to do that. And I think when you're doing, if you're mirroring to your team what you want from them, if you're showing them that, then you will find that actually that happens. I would say, I think I'm right, that out of the 9 supervisors that we spoke about before, Beth and Lindsay obviously inclusive of that as assistant manager and Eagle manager, I think I'm right in saying that 8 of those achieved supervisor independently, okay? And that has been really important to their retail, and we're really big on our retail, okay? So my advice would be an incredible retailer yourself. So, you know, show people how to do it. This is a stand that we did at a golf club near us. Be out there, be retailing. It's such an amazing time to be out there and sharing, you know, our amazing products with people. There's such a massive market for it. But I think that if you're expecting people to do 10cc retail, not that they need to, but, you know, for some people, like I said, the majority of our team, that's how they've got to supervisor. I feel like they've done that because they've seen us do that as well. So we've led from the front with that, with being amazing retailers. My fourth top tip then. So this one is a bit of a two-sided coin, really. So this is myself at the last success day. Oh my goodness, you can see the pride in my face. And when we get back to those events, I think you know yourself, that's going to be a huge impact on our teams. However, I've put here, get people at the beginning. And yes, you do want to get people at the beginning. You do want to get people when they're fired up. So I think, you know, really kind of having that daily contact with them when you get somebody new that signs. But equally, I think Bettina mentioned as well, you can't get everyone. And some people just don't want it as much as you. And that's okay. And equally, though, don't write people off, because for myself, I had been in the business for 18 months, very, very up and down, very inconsistent. But then look what I achieved in 12 months. So you just don't know. You just don't know who the dark horses in your team may be. Keep that connection there. I think if you lead from genuine, you know, really heartfelt authenticity, people buy into that, whether that's with your team or with the products. But don't stop that when somebody signs. Keep that going. I check in with my team regularly, whether they are active or not, because first and foremost, we connected through friendship, and I don't want to lose that. That's really important to me. So my fifth top tip, share, and share. I am so delighted to be sharing with you guys tonight. I hope that some of the tips that I've shared will help you, but equally share with other teams as well. Share with everybody, whether it's sharing the products with your local community, whether it's sharing the business opportunity, whether it's helping other people in other teams. Again, be genuine, be a nice person, and you'll find that actually your business will flourish, because actually people are buying into you and they're investing in you, and you'll find that you will get so much from them as well, not just from a financial perspective, but from just so much more, which I think is really important. My sixth top tip, you need to have the biggest why. You need to have the most unrockable why ever. I've taken this clip here, this photograph from something which Forever pulled together a couple of months ago, and it's a quote that I gave them about how I felt showing our daughter Arabella what I had created with this very little business which everyone thought would fail, but look what I've created. And I felt so proud of that. And I am so proud of that. But I think my tip to you would be with developing your why and readdressing it as well. So don't just do it once, then come back to it. More often than not, your why is not materialistic. So, for example, it might be that you want to take your family to Disney, but there will be a reason behind that. So whenever I'm working with my team, we play the why game. So they'll say, I want to take the family to Disney. Why? And they'll tell me why. Why is that important to you? Why is it important that your kids get to go there? Why do you? And if you drill down, you'll find that actually these goal boards that you see covered in Range Rovers and trips to the Bahamas, that's actually not what people are necessarily working for. It's the feeling behind it. And the photograph that you saw before of me on stage, I have that printed in the front of my planner because the pride that I felt at that moment was just unbelievable. And it's those emotions that drive you forward and make your goals so much more than just a dream or a wish. They make it a need as opposed to a want. And that's what I would really suggest you to do. You need to have, I need this. Not I want it, not I want a Range Rover, not I want a holiday to the Bahamas. I need to do this. And if you have that, you'll find that it will develop at an astronomical rate. Now, this is when we did go to head office and bumped into Bob a few weeks ago. And you can see this saddle to Arabella. If you've ever been to head office in the product centre there, you'll recognise this sign. This couldn't be more poignant, really, with everything that's happened recently and the sad loss that we've had with Rex. But as you've heard me mention a lot of times, be authentic, be genuine, and lead with love. Because if you do, people will buy into you and you will not only get the financial reward, but you will get so much more than that. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. And I hope that some of those tips were useful to you.